Hey, before you watch this thing, hit subscribe, would you? Were you happy when your life change from being full-time NBA player to being retired and having a lot more free time? And it seemed like you may have enjoyed the more anonymity.
Yes, I consider myself. It's actually a question that I get all the time, and they're always like a little bit weird about that question. They're like, "Oh yeah, like how you enjoying?"
Well, it's like a death. Like, oh, your fame died.
See, I because that was like not what it was for me. I looked at it as like, this is awesome. This is like a whole new life that I have never experienced. Like I've never.
Because the truth is, yeah, you're good at basketball, which is very valuable anywhere, let alone Oklahoma, where they got nothing going on. But you're good from 8th grade.
Yeah, I mean, I played basketball my whole life. I don't know when I was like good, but like it became very, very serious for me. Yeah, like 8th, 9th grade.
But I'm saying you get a lot of status from it.
Yeah, 8th grade, 9th grade, like started to get more. I always tell people like, you just like high school, you become sort of like a local city, like you name, and then you become a state name, and then you go to college, and people know you're in college, and you just sort of keep like growing in that. Like I didn't have like an overnight thing. Like maybe when it came to the NBA, you become more of a name globally, but like. It came in increments for me, so it was like
there was never a moment where you're like, okay, this is that was a very big jump that was hard to deal with.
They're not like hard to deal with. I do remember my rookie year, we played against the Knicks, and I had like 2 or 3 dunks that kind of went like viral back when Twitter was young. And I remember that was kind of like a time where I was like, wow, it's never really slowed down since then, and it just went like to the moon. But like I said, I was sort of prepared for it. Like I'd been prepared for it since like my 9th grade year. You know, when you start to get a little bit of that, and you learn how to handle it at each level. So it's always interesting for me because I always think about people who just overnight, they become famous, and it's just like overwhelming. I don't really have that. Right?
What do you think most of it is? Gauging people's reactions, meaning. I always find fame to be like you're just trying to calm people down a little bit, where you're like, "Hey, no, it's fine."
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
I'm regular.
Sometimes I'll be like, "Shh."
Yeah.
You're in like a public, like a crowded place, and like, oh my god, you're like, shh.
Yeah.
I got you.
I remember Chappelle saw Bill Murray. Chappelle wasn't famous, and he saw Bill Murray on the street in like 1992 or something, and Chappelle was like, "Oh," and Bill Murray just goes,
"Yeah." Yeah.
And just like ducked in.
That's like one thing I was thinking about because I just loved basketball. Like, and the NBA, I was a massive college basketball fan. I grew up in Oklahoma. No NBA teams. There was no league pass back then. There was no social media. Like I couldn't follow all these. But I knew Michael Jordan. All the biggest ones. You just know the national TV games. Yeah. So the NBA was never like. Of course, I wanted to play in the NBA, but it was never like this thing where I was like, man, that's got to be awesome. Like people know. Like I just wanted to play basketball, and like as time goes on, like you sort of adjust to that and you get used to like all these things. But that's why like when I retired, it was just so like I'm so happy, and. I played 14 years. I played 2 years in college. Like after 16 years of high-level competitive basketball, like it was time. And I like remember seeing like some of these young kids come in.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the bench one time, and one of our young rookies when I was in Brooklyn, I was just like talking to him. I was like, "When did you really fall in love with the game?" Like that's like kind of a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Man, honestly, it was when I was like 9 or 8." I was watching you, with the Clippers, and I was like, "Oh." He goes, "Man, I had your jersey. I changed my number to your number," and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
I am.
Oh, I have to retire.
I am old."
No wonder my knees hurt so badly.
It was just like a sobering moment for me. It was. I was like, "Oh man, thank you. That means a lot." But like in the back of my mind, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I am like." And I watch these young kids play, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. I've overstayed my welcome.
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
Yeah, so you don't. It doesn't feel like. I think I used to tell you that it's like it's like a car. When you drive a car off the lot, its value goes down automatically. So it's like the minute you take a jersey off, you're like now from being like on an active roster to now. But the truth is probably a lot of people don't even know you're retired.
Yeah, I mean, I get that question all the time. Oh, you still playing? Who you play for? I'm like, I'm retired. I'm done. But I just don't look at it that way. Like I don't know. I mean, I also had things to step into to keep me busy. I got 2 kids. I got, you know what I mean? Like there was just so much more to life that I was always very excited about. And I did my time, and I don't know. I'm in a good place, and I'm happy with that, and I hope that more guys experience this than they do.
Get a wide, because he's really retired. I mean, this is not a guy who's I mean, look at those loafers.
Yeah, they're boat shoes.
This guy's wearing boat shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a fancy UPS.
Yeah. The fanciest, like whatever, like they deliver very fancy packages.
Yeah. Like
white gloves.
When you're like, sure, do you want insurance on this? And like, yes, it's very expensive.
Can I have Blake,
they call me in.
So that's good. So you don't feel in any way reduced, which is great. You maybe even feel, because you still get to keep all the money, and
true.
You're basically committed to a girl, and you're in a committed relationship, and you got kids. So there's no you're not on the prowl in any way anymore.
No, and I have some stuff coming up, and I don't know. I feel really good about where I'm at. The fame thing, like that didn't faze me in the least bit. The one thing that I do miss is like I'll be watching a game and like 4 or 2 minutes left, and it's a close game, and it's a great atmosphere. I'm like, oh man, that's fun. But I also wasn't able to play at the level that I was used to playing at, or that I wanted to play at for the last like 2-3 years of my career. So like,
how did you deal with that? Because that's another question I have, which is like, knowing you enough to know that must have driven you fucking crazy.
Yeah, absolutely bananas.
And fucking off the wall, can't sleep for days. What did you tell yourself? Because I also found that your inner monologue was always very positive, at least from as you presented it to me.
Yeah.
How was it? What did it be? Did it stay positive, or did you feel delusional, or did you have to lie to yourself?
No, I think you just like, I mean, I think maybe one of my greatest strengths as a player, or maybe a person, is self-awareness. Like I knew that I wasn't, like I knew that I could be out there, but like especially Boston my last year, it was like I would sit on the bench at the end of the games. It's like I'm looking at like 2 perennial all-stars, and like we had a great team.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, I should be out there.
Yeah.
Do I think I could help? Yes. But
set a pick here or there.
I'll hustle. I'll dive on the floor. What do you need from me?
Yeah.
I'll get the crowd hype.
Like you'll fall and throw the ball off the guy, that kind of thing. Like really helpful stuff.
Like heady plays.
Yes, the
heady
intangibles.
So like sitting on the on the bench like that, it wasn't really like a dark, or it wasn't like a super sad. At times maybe frustrating, but I just knew that I wasn't at that same level. So my role became different. I became like a locker room guy. I tried to be a mentor to young guys. I tried to have conversations
Lemonade
with coaches.
Stand.
Yeah. Peanuts, popcorn, hot dogs. I would do whatever, man. You know what I mean? Some nights I was in there closing up the arena.
Yeah.
Because that's just what a role player does. And where's my...
Annie, whichever you want. Whichever you want. Not that one.
Okay, sorry.
Did you... What is the arc of realizing your body's not the same?
You just feel it. I mean,
and you wake, whether you wake up or you go to the gym or whatever, and you're like, can I jump higher? Couldn't I get more lift? And then you go, it'll come back, and then it just never does.
Yeah, and also some days, like when you got older, like some days I felt great,
right?
And I could. But like it was like that recovery was so slow, like right, where it was like you felt good 1 out of every 5 days. Where like when I first started playing, it was every day, every second, every hour, every minute. I felt great, and then you don't feel as good as often. And I just kind of like switched into this mode of like, all right, then I'm gonna reinvent myself. Like I sort of did that throughout my career. Like I started shooting more. I started shooting threes, and then I became a hustle guy. I became like a locker room guy, mentor, and like it was all fun, and I enjoyed it, all of it, like all the different facets of it. Like, of course, I want to go play 38 minutes. Yeah, but I knew like in my last year, like if I played 38 minutes, like there's a chance you don't see me for a couple of days. I might be stuck in bed.
You have to check into rehab.
The team got me life alert. JJ said to me, we were playing golf, and he was like, you know what's crazy? He's like, this might sound a little crazy, but you know, you might not ever like really truly experience like just like full like happiness until you retire. And I was like, wow, that was like, I agreed. Like I agree to this day now, having been retired. I was still playing at the time. And it's not that like we're unhappy by any means.
Well, that's what you saw. Adam Silver said that most players are unhappy.
I think it's a direct result of social media. A lot of players are unhappy. I'm an anxious person myself, he said, joking a little.
That's interesting. I mean, it is so, it's such a roller coaster that like maybe I can see that.
And the life, he was talking about like the isolation of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people don't see a lot of, like on the planes and the hotel rooms and the meetings, you know, like all that is like, can't complain at all. But like that's a little bit more mundane, and it's way less glamorous than you think it is, because you also have to get your work in. And like I said, it was not because I wasn't happy, but like, man, like for the first time in your life, especially as an adult, I make my own schedule. I get to do things that I've never done. Like, it was just like very intriguing to me. And
you still act? This feels like you still exercise. When I hugged you, it felt like a man who exercises. Is that true?
I'm a man who exercises. I'll get in the weight room and toss some things.
Are you
around.
still? Do you still lift weights?
I still do.
Why?
I for a year I was pretty lazy, and I like would just kind of randomly exercise. But recently I've gotten back on. I'm just better mentally. When I do, and not for nearly as long. My body doesn't hurt anymore. It's just to like get a little movement in.
No more steroids.
Okay. Yeah, now I can. now I can.
That's the time I actually. You have any?
I might start.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. I understand that's probably like a hard thing to grasp. Like, you're not happy. Like, no, we are happy, but it's just like a whole new world that has just been opened up, and it's like it's been really exciting. And
to control your schedule is huge.
So huge.
And you don't have to exercise. You're not in breach of contract, kind of. Or if you don't exercise, you're not going to get your ass whooped by someone in 6 weeks.
Publicly.
Well, maybe.
Publicly.
But,
no, I'm
on television.
In front of
absolutely
hundreds of thousands of people.
Correct.
You're just going to get embarrassed because you didn't work out.
Yeah.
I remember I had this thought, like I was maybe 2 months in, and I woke up and I was like, I'd still kind of been working out, and I woke up and I was like, planning on working out, and I was like, I just don't feel like working out, to myself. And I was like, oh, I don't have to. Like, I can just go about my day. Yeah. And like that too was just like because there's moments, like especially when you're an athlete, like you wake up and you don't want to work out. You don't feel like it, just like everybody else. Yeah. And you just have to. You have to find a way to do it. And the best ones are the ones that find ways to do it, and not only just do it, but like push yourself and get better that day. Yeah. Those are big days, right? Those are big mental days, like where you finish a workout when you didn't want to, and you pushed yourself really hard, and you walk away and you're like, yeah, I just took a step.
Zach Randolph is not going to move me for no reason.
He probably still will.
Yeah, he will. Zach, come on out.
I'm about to bust his ass straight up.
Just hit it. Don't you want me to feel good? Subscribe.